Hello, my name is Gabriel. I'm going to get into my experience with the Klon pedal. I got 3 Klon pedals to test here. But here's the funny part, you know, I've been asking ChatGPT and researching over and over how, to get at least the closest Klon. So I went out and bought like all these little horsemans and all that stuff, and my favorite Klon, right off the bat, was this Silver KLON. It just growled. But when you go to like 7, or if you have like the volume past 12 o'clock, something weird happens. I don't know how to explain it. Like the treble is not acting like it's a boost anymore. It's like weird. And it's pretty faithful according to ChatGPT. That's so cool. So I got this Silver KLON and I thought, let me find out how much it costs to get a better Klon. So these are the 3 Klon pedals. What happened here is I bought the silver one from China, the mustard one from China, from AliExpress, and the gold one from Amazon. Now, they say KC7 version 7, the latest one. They show the components. ChatGPT says they're very faithful looking, but there are some parts what you need to change if you want to make it better. That's why I love modifiable pedals. It's very important to have modifiable pedals. Turned out that the mustard one didn't sound anywhere near as good as the silver one or the gold one. I was disappointed. I was like, why did they sound different at all? They're supposed to be the same model and all that. And as you will hear in the test, this is another example again of buying from AliExpress. Even DemonFX are being copies of copies. They don't sound the same. Very scary. Because you now ask yourself, okay, I did a review of the Caline 10 band. I love it. It's on my board all the time, and 10 band EQ that's warmer, the analog, like Kerry King's, a recreation of the blue one, if you want to go over the black one or whatever. And I did a modification to get it to sound like that, but let's say you left it on. You come back, you hear some funny stuff. But I just want to make this a long story short here. The Gold Klon is a keeper from Amazon who is more careful about, not sending out crap. And the real DemonFX pedals, and the guys in China basically clone of the clone of the clone. You can hear the difference. I hope you like this review. I wanted to share some information that I've discovered about clone pedals here. It says here in ChatGPT that the DemonFX Klon, the budget's great value for the money, very close to the original Klon sound, often used by players who want that Klon magic but can't afford the Ceriatone clone is a mid and high tier boutique hand build and all that, often customizable. And of course the original clone. These are the 3 best clones. Now there are a lot of other clones and I've seen reviews, they're all fancy. Don't even bother. On this little chart below here, there are other clones that you can get, like the Nux Horseman, the Musky Goldman, the J Rocket Archer. You know, the JHS pedals are great. They're reliable, they're innovative. If you have the money or you're really serious about it, you want to get stuff like that. More reliable than the originals, which is really the whole opposite direction of counterfeit. And the original clone has 2 main versions. The clone more popular, slightly warmer, smoother, golden one, and the silver one rumored to be more edgier. And that's exactly the way both this gold and silver one act, even though they're not the original clone. But let me explain some more things here that I've discovered that I think should be part of this review. The best budget one is DemonFX. The Ceriatone is the best next level clone. They're basically in the 90% of the way to the original clone. I guess if you want a mini pedal, you want to get the Golden Horse or Nux Horseman. I am convinced from playing these pedals that I'm happy with them. I've tried the other ones. I don't see the point in paying that much money for them if it's not an original clone to begin with. Use information from clone websites. Okay, Ruby-doo. From Bill himself, a message he sent. Guitar layouts, okay. These are the circuits and all that stuff. The original clone. It talks about it. And of course I have this breakdown. This silver one is very close. It says it has all this stuff. Germanium 1 and 37. Anyway, just trust your ears. One of the most important things to understand about why physical pedal is still an important process in your DAW as a guitar player today or before a sim even. As you see, a lot of people make these demos sound like they're in bathrooms because they're miking, they're playing through the amp. They don't realize they can go into the computer in a sim and it acts the same. Why is it important? Because it feels better. And I can't emphasize it enough. Having a cheap compressor, maybe a gate, but a compressor and an EQ mainly, and if anything at all for overdrive and SD1, is all you need if you want that Marshall sound, you know? Anyway, I hope you like this video. And my advice is if you buy a DemonFX clone, if you want a cheap one from China, go ahead and buy one, but buy one from Amazon and compare them, because at the end of the day, you might not get the same thing. Also, leave it on for a while and see if you come back and it sounds like a washing machine, because then you know you need to find out. Maybe bad components and whatever. Anyway, I wish you the best, and I hope you guys enjoy life. While you're here, feel free to check out some of the electroformed jewelry by myself and Mia. We also have an Etsy shop, and go ahead and do all that stuff like subscribe and follow us. We hope to see you again in the future.